Hi everyone, welcome to our presentation. My name is Jenny McCracken and I'm a financial aid advisor at UCSB, and we have a PowerPoint presentation for you right now that'll go over some general financial aid processes here. Hopefully we'll answer many of your questions. We'll also be taking your questions at the end of the presentation, but you can go ahead now and send us your questions so that we're ready for them at the end of the presentation. Valdez?
Thank you, Jenny. My name is Valdez Corrales. I'm an information specialist, also in the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships. Enjoy the presentation.
Okay, so here we go. This is the general stuff that we're going to go over today. We'll go lightly over most of the processes in financial aid. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So FERPA is the Family and Educational Rights and Privacy Act. This is designed to protect student information. It's an important thing to remember as you're getting started here at UCSB because it means that we won't share your student information that's held in our office with anybody other than the student without your specific consent. If you do want us to be able to talk to your parents or anyone else about the information that's in the financial aid office, you'll have to sign our consent to release form. It's available on our website and in the office. So it could be faxed or mailed to us, or you could print it out and sign it in our office. If you submit your statement of intent to register, after that point, then we wouldn't be able to discuss your student information with anybody else. So after that point, you could submit the consent to release. As for filing the FAFSA or the DREAM application, it's something that you're going to do every year. The priority deadline is March 2nd of every year. This means that you can file it after that deadline, but you wouldn't be considered for some of the funding opportunities that you have if you file it on time. The awards can change from year to year based on the changes in the cost of attendance at UCSB and changes to your family's circumstances. So you'll file it every year. The FAFSA becomes available on January 1st. So you have the month of January and February to file it. And it's based on your family circumstances of that year. If you do need help completing either of these applications, we have tutorials available on our website, so you can check those out and see step-by-step processes about how to do that. So the unofficial award letters, or the UAL, these are what's available to students after they've been admitted to UCSB. So after the admissions decisions were made, we made unofficial award letters available to the students. These are for your information to be able to compare award letters to the other schools that you've been admitted to. All of these award letters are subject to funding and also the verification process, which I'll get into in a little bit. And the way that you see your unofficial award letter is through the admissions portal, so that's where you logged in and saw that you were an admitted student. So the verification process is something that we do for about 30% of all the students that attend UCSB. For new students out there, this occurs once you have submitted your statement of intent to register. So once you've selected that you're going to be attending UCSB, we'll notify you if you're one of the students who's been selected for verification. Each year we're required to verify FAFSA information for students. They were selected by the federal processor. The documents that are requested will be listed on the student's MyAid status account on our website. And access to MyAid status will become available only after you've submitted that statement of intent to register. Each document will have a due date. You need to turn in the documents by that due date, and any late submissions may receive reduced UCSB grant funding, so that's important to remember. There's going to be a variety of different documents that we ask for you to turn in. One of them is tax return transcripts. You do have the opportunity, though, to use the IRS data retrieval tool option on the FAFSA. This tool allows you to link the IRS information that they have to the FAFSA, so that it pre-populates all those answers. So you can log into your FAFSA and use that now. And when you do that, then you won't need to turn in the tax return transcript. So it can be a smoother, easier way to do that. There will still be a couple of other documents that you'll need to print out, sign, and submit to our office. There is a tutorial on the IRS data retrieval tool if you're having any trouble using it, or if it's giving you any error messages, because some people won't be allowed to use it. So if you are having trouble, you can access that tutorial. Okay. And then your financial aid award letter is the official award letter. We'll begin awarding students in June, and then we will continue throughout the summer. The financial aid award letter can be a little bit different than your unofficial award letter, so that's important to remember. Some of the reasons that it might be different are changes made after verification documents have been received. If those documents show that something was reported differently on the FAFSA, we'll make updates and corrections to the FAFSA, and that may change your eligibility a little bit. Also, changes to federal or state grant funding would change your financial aid award letter, or changes to the UC cost of attendance due to reduction in state funding. Okay. So the financial aid award letter, it'll tell you the eligibility for if you'd be receiving Pell Grant, if you would be receiving Cal Grant. The Cal Grant right now, because it's so early in the summer, is only going to be an estimate of your eligibility based on the FAFSA information. Students can check their Cal Grant status themselves by logging into Web Grants for Students, and they can see the update from California Student Aid Commission directly. That is the ones that are actually determining your Cal Grant eligibility. You'll also see your eligibility for a middle class scholarship, which I'll go into a little bit later, but the middle class scholarship is not going to be determined yet. We'll be getting notified of who's going to be a middle class scholar later on in the summer. You'll also see whether or not you would have a UCSB grant, a blue and gold grant, what student loans you would have offered to you, and if you were going to receive any Workstudy eligibility. Okay, so the blue and gold program is something that we have here at UCSB. It's a UC commitment to ensure that financially needy undergraduates with family income of up to $80,000 have their system-wide fees covered by grants and scholarships. Other grants and scholarships that a student would be receiving also count towards this commitment. So for example, if you already have a Cal Grant is another grant that would be paying your fees. So the fees this year of $12,192. If you were already receiving that, then you wouldn't be eligible to receive the blue and gold grant. But if you weren't receiving something like that, then we would enter in the blue and gold if you qualified for that. So most students that qualify will already have their fees covered by a different grant, such as the Cal Grant or a UCSB grant. But for those that don't, then we'll add the blue and gold grant. So the middle class scholarship is new this year. This is the first year of awarding it. It will apply to undergraduates whose family income is up to $150,000. You must be a U.S. citizen, permanent resident, or have an AB 540 status and meet other criteria. And you can read more about it at the California Student Aid Commission website here about the middle class scholarship. We're also going to be offering loans for students and parents. The first one is a subsidized direct loan. This one's not going to be accruing interest while you're in school. The Perkins loan is also not going to be accruing interest while the student is in school. Funding is more limited for this one, so it's offered to fewer students. And the unsubsidized direct loan is another student loan. This one does accrue interest while you're in school. For both the subsidized and unsubsidized direct loans, you don't need to begin repayment until 6 months after graduating or you're not attending school anymore. For the Perkins loan, you have 9 months after graduating before you have to begin repayment. And then finally, the Parent Plus loan, also an unsubsidized loan, and the parent is going to be the one taking the loan out in their name. Okay, so dispersing aid. The way it works here is that grants will pay automatically over to the billing office to pay off charges that are on your account, as well as any accepted loans. You'll have to log on to My Aid status where you can accept the loans. Aid will begin crediting after fees are assessed, provided that for the quarter that is being charged and paid for, the student is enrolled in at least 6 units, and the Master Promissory Note, or MPN, and entrance counseling have been completed. Those are for the accepted loans. So if you accept your loans, you need to go ahead and do the MPN and the entrance counseling, and then we'll get electronic notification once those are completed, and then your loan will be able to disperse. Everything is going to disperse also in 3 installments, so for 3 quarters that you're attending. Okay. So the billing office is called BARC. The BARC office issues refunds to students when the aid has credited is greater than the balance due. So if you're receiving more financial aid than what's being charged on your account, the remaining balance will be issued in your refund check. The refunds are going to be issued 7 days before the first day of class for each quarter. And this is money that's meant to pay for school-related expenses, but expenses that are not on your billing account, such as books and supplies, your transportation, and personal expenses. You'll get this refund in one of 2 methods: either a check sent to your local address, or you can sign up for e-refund. It's direct deposit. You'll sign up through the billing office website there, and once you do that, then any refund that is coming to you will just go automatically to your bank account. So that could be good. Another source of funding here is federal Workstudy. You'll see on your financial aid award letter if this is something that you've been awarded. And this is the one fund that does pay differently because it's not going to pay over to the billing office. The first thing is that you need to find a job. Gaucho Link is our student job board. And this is all jobs, not just for Workstudy jobs. But you can go there, see what's available, what jobs you might want to apply for. And then if you do get a job that's using your Workstudy eligibility, you'll be paid with a normal paycheck. So it's never a fund that's going to be paid over to your billing office, but you can use those paychecks to pay off charges on billing, or use it for your personal expenses. The award amount represents the total earnings that you would be eligible to receive for the year. So if there's a $2,000 award in your financial aid award letter, you can earn that much in Workstudy earnings. Workstudy is on a first-come, first-served basis. It's offered to more students than we can fund. So when we run out of funding, then we'll have to remove unused funds from award letters. Okay. Agency scholarships are another source of funding that students use. On our website, we have a long list of resources that students can use to help find scholarships. These are just a couple of them, but if you go to our website, you can look at more resources. Basically, what we suggest doing is going on and filling out a profile, and based on that, these search engines help you identify scholarships that you would be eligible to apply for. There are scholarships that are not through UCSB, so you can use them at any school that you end up attending. UCSB scholarships. Students are automatically identified for these scholarships, so there's no need to fill out a separate application. For continuing students, these are based on financial need, so that's determined through filing the FAFSA every year. And then for UCSB continuing students, their UCSB GPA also qualifies for them for those. So we'll identify those students, we'll award those scholarships automatically. There are a few other scholarships that are through the admissions application. So again, there's no separate applications for UCSB scholarships. The request for review is another process in the financial aid office. It's designed to consider special circumstances that have happened to a family since the time of filing the FAFSA that affects their ability to pay for the upcoming year of school. So some examples of that are some type of loss of income, excessive medical costs that they've accrued, divorce, or the death of a parent. So if you think that you might be a candidate for a request for review, you can read more about it on our website. You can definitely call us and talk to us about your circumstances. And then we'll begin processing these forms at the end of the summertime. So the form will become available in August, and it will be printable from our website. And then as soon as we start receiving those requests, then we'll begin processing them. Unfortunately, we can't process these for unofficial award letters or before a student submits a statement of intent to register. So you do have to select UCSB as the school that you're going to be attending, and then we'll make our best effort to review those as soon as we receive them. And here is our contact information. So our phone number is right there at the top. Call us. We'd love to hear from you and answer any questions that you have. We can go over more specifics about your circumstances. Our phone and front desk are open 9 to 12 and 1 to 4, Monday through Friday. Our front desk will have limited hours during the summer, so you can, before visiting us, check our website, make sure that we don't have any special hours during the summer. And that's everything that I have. So we will take your questions now. So if you have something that you've been wanting to ask, go ahead. We're here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we have any questions?
We have one. Thank you.
Here we go. Okay. You're supposed to read the question.
Oh, okay. Here it goes. Here's our first question. If you're a transfer student, how will you know you have received a UCSB scholarship or that you are a candidate for the scholarship? Jenny?
Okay, thanks. So most scholarships recipients have already been notified. And if anything does come up later in the year, you'll be identified. There are very few scholarships that are available for incoming students. So I mentioned about how scholarships you've identified through your financial need and your UCSB GPA. So unfortunately, since incoming students don't have a UCSB GPA, they're not considered for the scholarships that a continuing student is. So if you're transferring in, your second year here, you would be eligible for more of the scholarships if you do maintain a high GPA and you remain to have financial need. Then you'd be eligible for more. There's very few for incoming students. Okay, next question.
Hey, look, Monique. All right. Second question: how do we apply for Cal Grant if we are an upcoming transfer student?
Okay, so to apply for the Cal Grant, it's important that you have to have filed the FAFSA by March 2nd, and also that you have to have completed your GPA submission to the California Student Aid Commission. So if you're transferring from like a junior college in California, your community college has to submit the GPA. And that may have been done automatically for you. A lot of them do that electronically for all of their students. What I'd recommend doing is going and logging into my web grants for students. You'll be able to create a login there, and then you can select GPA submission and see if it was submitted and see what date it was submitted on. So that's how you'll know if you're getting that. Okay, next question.
Okay. There are no more questions.
Oh, we've got no more questions.
You sure, guys? We're not ready to leave you just yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you. Do we have to apply for middle class scholarship?
So, it's similar to the Cal Grant because it's offered through the California Student Aid Commission. So you also have to have filed your FAFSA by March 2nd, and you also need to have your GPA verified. There's no application process per se, so as long as you've done those things, then we'll identify the students who are going to be eligible to receive it.
Which shows up on the official award letter?
The official award letter.
Yes. Right.
Because we don't know who those students are yet. Anything else?
Well, guys, more questions. Ready.
Let's see.
Oh, Monique.
Well, we will end our presentation since we don't have any more specific questions right now. But our chat room is still open, so if you have questions that you just want to, shoot over to them, they can answer specific questions. They're happy to help you. So, thanks everybody.
Bye.